Welcome to Chair Yoga. I'm Shannon. I have a few guests with me today in the live class, three beautiful, beautiful women. And I'll be putting these on YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube, welcome. This is a chair yoga class where we stay in the chair the whole time. We don't get up. We utilize yoga poses that could be done on the floor, standing, and we find a way to move our body in such a way in our chairs. So have a seat, scoot back a little bit. Hopefully you've got a back on your chair so you can lean back. Hopefully your feet can plant on the floor. And I'd like to say this about the feet. If you're in a chair that lifts your feet up a little bit, you could take a blanket or a towel and put something under your feet so that you can ground your feet down. So just notice if your feet are floating to next time maybe, or now, go grab a book, a blanket, something to lift your feet up a little bit. All right, set your hands on your legs, sit up nice and tall, and maybe just float your eyes closed for a few moments. You don't have to see me the whole time, nothing exciting going on here. And as you close your eyes, we take away the sense of sight. Just notice what starts happening in your body. You might notice your sense of touch a little bit more. Maybe your sense of hearing. Maybe the taste in your mouth, or even the smells that you have in your home. Maybe you're outside. So take those senses and enhance them a little bit. Listen for the noises and the sounds. Take a deeper breath in through your nose, smelling. Feel the way your clothes move as you breathe, and the way your skin feels, and the temperature in the room. Deepen your breath. Bring your palms together and lift them to your chest. Press your thumbs slightly against your sternum. Take a big breath in through your nose, sweeping in. Let it out through your mouth. Take a breath in, sweeping up through your nose. Let it out through your mouth. We'll chant Om together. Inhale. Om. Bow your head towards your heart. Release your hands to your legs. Slowly open your eyes and lift your gaze. Thank you so much for being here, whether you're live or coming in recorded. All right, come from back or come to the top of your chair a little bit. Move from the back of your chair so that you can sit up nice and tall. And go ahead and separate your feet maybe as wide as your hips or as wide as the legs on the chair. And then I just want to talk about breathing here for just a moment. I've noticed when I'm teaching beginner yoga, when I started yoga, I was not able to really concentrate on the breath in through the nose and out through the nose. I typically would breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth, just let the breath go. So I think that's a big, big lesson in yoga, is getting started in the breathing. So we're just going to take a moment. So have you ever noticed, like, well, I notice it. I have a dog. I have two dogs. Have you ever noticed a dog will take a really big breath and then just, they just let it out rather quickly? They've done studies. They're not exactly sure why. Are they bored? Are they really taking a big breath? And I notice I do that. So have you ever noticed where you just, like a frustration, you kind of scoff, or you give that slight breath, or if you're really frustrated with someone, you go, and you let that sound kind of grumble and grovel. So let's just try that for a moment. So take your kind of heated, frustrated breath. It's very quick. You let it out quickly. Nothing wrong with it. Sometimes we need to hear our own voice to either soothe or listen to our frustration. But let's try to take that a little bit deeper. So take a deep breath in through your nose, and then let it out through your mouth a little slower. You could still grunt and groan. You can still be frustrated. Let's do it again. In through your nose. Let it go longer. You might notice that your little frustrated grunt is a little bit harder to do, and you start easing it out a little bit. Try one more time. In through your nose. Letting the breath go. This time, try not to grunt and groan. Just give yourself a really long pause to exhale. Inhale. Long exhale. Relax. So we can do that same thing with our lips closed, teeth separated, but our lips kind of not bound together, but slightly closed, and breathe out through your nose. So let's try to do that. Inhale through your nose. Keep your lips closed, breathe out through your nose. Inhale. Lips closed, teeth separated, exhale out through your nose. So what you get is a much longer exhale, thoughtful, calming your nervous system, and giving yourself a long, long time to release the breath, not just a shrug or a release. So that's just a little common thing that we do in yoga. The ladies that are taking my class have been doing it for a long time, but it's nice to come back to it and remember, we're looking for a steady breath. Last thing I'm going to say about that before we start moving our limbs is that as you exhale, you might also start to notice that you can hug that breath in. So you can feel an expansion, and then you can feel a contraction. So let's try that. Bring one hand to your chest and one hand to your abdomen. So picture that you're breathing into your hands. Inhale. And then exhale, breathe, exhale away from your hands. Everything coming to the middle. Try that one more time. Inhale. Exhale. Bring your hands to your side ribs. Bring your elbows out to the sides. Breathe into your hands. Inhale through your nose. Breathe away from your hands as you exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale out through your nose. And release your hands down by your sides. All right. So it's just something to remember. Don't worry about it. You might do half the practice and say, shoot, I forgot to breathe in the way I was taught in the beginning. It's okay. Just come back to it when you think about it. All right. Lift your arms up overhead. You could put a small bend in your elbows, especially if you've had any surgeries or a PT, a physical therapist or doctor has said, don't reach up to your full extension. So just notice how you feel here. Remember where your hands were, chest, belly, and ribs. Take a breath in. Exhale, hug to the midline. So think about hugging in as you exhale. Take a breath in. And exhale, release your arms down by your sides. Roll your shoulders up to your ears, roll them back, slide your shoulder blades down your back, rest your hands on your legs. All right, so we're gonna bring our arms back overhead. Here's a couple of choices. Keep your elbows bent, take your left hand to your right wrist. If that feels safe for you, keeping your elbows bent, by all means, keep doing that. You could bring your palms together and cross your thumbs. So what feels better? And then you don't have to straighten your arms, but begin to straighten your arms. Inhale and exhale. I want you to come over to the left. I'll mirror you, so we should look the same, moving in the same direction. So as you reach up and over to the left, you might feel like you're gonna keep on going. I want you to stamp your right foot down to the floor. I want you to bring your right buttock down to the chair, but keep lifting over to the left side. If your thumbs are crossed, pull your hands apart isometrically. So feel like you can pull them apart, but don't do it. And then keep lifting up and over. Picture you have, say, a beach ball on the left side and you're trying to curve and curl over the beach ball. Come back up and release your arms down by your sides. First, get heavy in your arms. Roll your shoulders up and back, and then bring your hands to your lap. I want to keep you lifting up from your side body. All right, let's try the other side. Arms come up. Again, bend your elbows if that feels better than trying to straighten them. And take your right hand to your left wrist. Lift up or make prayer hands and cross your thumbs and come over to the right. So a couple of cues here. Again, if you feel like you're lifting your left buttock off the chair, bring your left buttock down, but keep extending through the left side of your body. Push down into your left foot. Reach up and over. And then the last cue I'll give you here is, can you take your arm bones back and lift your chest a little bit? Reach. Now remember the breath again. Inhale. Exhale, reach over to the left as if your hand could reach the wall. Come back up and release your arms down by your sides. Roll your shoulders up and slide them down. Get heavy in your ring fingers. And place your hands on your lap. All right. So I think in my mind today, I have us moving limbs. So move the arms, we'll move the legs. So you might, last week in the pre-recorded class, we did a hip walk. So I'd like to just do it a couple of times in this class. So we're not going to get up and walk, but we're going to hip walk on our chair. So you just lift a buttock, walking your hips towards the top of the chair, and then go backwards. You can use some momentum. So you might swing a little back and forth. Just move, kind of waking up the hip flexors. And back. And then come back to the top of your chair. We'll all meet there. So buttocks on the chair, tops of your thighs on the chair, but give yourself some room underneath your knees and a little bit towards the back of your thighs. Lift your right knee up. Stretch it out. Start to lengthen it. You can take your hands and use your hands to help if you want, or hold the sides of your chair. Bring your right knee up and then move it out slightly. Bring it back in and kick it out. Ooh, bring it back down. Done a lot of hip work this week. I'm feeling it. Take your left leg out in front. So if you notice, my leg's not straight. I'm not locking out the knee. I'm still putting a little bit of a bend, but reach out. Maybe your foot is a little bit lower. Totally fine. Lift your knee up higher than your hip. Bring it out to the side, getting a little bit of an external rotation. Bring it back and reach. Ooh, bring it down. Harder than you think over here in the hip flexors. So now we'll do a little bit of left and right. So we'll work with the brain a little bit. Again, I'm mirroring you. So even though I'm saying this is my right hand, it's my left, but it looks like it's in the same direction as you. So take your left leg out and your right arm up. Keep your left foot on the floor. Reach your left arm down. So it's a little bit of a shift. Reach up through the right arm, out through the left. Take a big breath in. And then as you exhale, bring your elbow and knee towards each other. They don't have to touch. Kick back out and lift your arm up overhead. Inhale, keep reaching down through your left ring finger. And then exhale, pick your knee up, elbow down. Inhale, reach. And exhale, rest. Whew. Just need 3 of those. Notice how your left hip feels. Make sure there's no pain. No pain allowed in this class. You just kind of find that edge. I think, Nan, you've said it before, hurts so good. That almost hurts, but hurts so good. Lift your left arm up and your right leg out. Reach your right arm down towards the floor. So really feel like your hand is heavy towards the floor. Take a full breath in. Remember, you're widening your breath. Exhale, elbow to knee. Doesn't have to touch. Mine certainly don't. Inhale, reach up and out. Exhale. Inhale, up and out. And exhale. Come down and rest for a moment. So on that one, we weren't necessarily doing any kind of crunching so much. We were kind of staying up and just bringing our limbs towards each other. This time we are going to work a little bit in the abdominals so that you maybe later, today, tomorrow, the next day, say, ooh, I'm a little bit sore in here. And you can notice if we did some work. So come up to the top of your chair again. Make sure you've got a little bit of leg room off of the chair. Some of y'all have done this with me before. It's a diagonal movement. So left leg comes out and right arm moves up. So you're moving a little bit more, say east to west in a certain way. Take a full breath in, and as you exhale, I want you to move the abdomen towards your spine. Give yourself a little bit of a rounded back, stretch back out. Inhale. Exhale, you can bring your left arm and hold the chair so that you can curl. You're curling slightly. Think of a cat back. Inhale. Exhale, come in. Let your breath be part of this pose. Last one. Inhale through your nose. Slow exhale. Come down and rest. So I just want you to see what's happening to me in the back. Whenever I'm making that little curl, I am curling up and around until you feel that action of your transverse muscles starting to work. Let's try the other side. Right leg out, left arm up. Take a big breath in, hold your chair, exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. Come down. Rest your hands on your legs. Take a moment. Might get you a little breathless as well. Go back to a full breath in and out. Okay. One of my favorite things to do in a chair is goddess pose. So if you were standing and I asked you to come into a goddess pose, we would come down, we would try to align ourselves, long spine. The nice thing about the chair is you're not having to grip and hold on, but you can still have the action. So separate your knees apart from each other and turn your feet out. So align your heels. They'll probably align all on their own. Take your hands to your knees. And then the action is going to be that your knees move back. So you could even slide your hands to the backs of your knees and push. Push your knees into your hands. Give a little fight. Push down into the floor like you're going to stand up. And you might cramp. If you cramp, come in and out of it. I just cramped. Push your feet into the floor and squeeze your heels towards each other. Sit up nice and tall. Take your arms out to the sides. Bend your elbows. You've got a choice here. Does it feel good to bring your fingers together? It'll feel a little more toned, or does it feel good to spread your hands apart and feel more open? So you decide. So push down into your feet, lift up through the crown of your head, and remember where your hands were when you were breathing. Take a full breath in. Exhale. We're going to start to move. Bring your left arm in front of you and reach your right arm overhead. So same as we did before, crescent pose. Reach your left arm across your body and your right arm over your head. Reach, push down into your feet and squeeze your heels towards each other. Come back up. Inhale. Exhale, right arm across, left arm reaches. Remember, press down into your left foot, reach over to the right side, come back up, inhale, exhale, left side. Inhale, come up, and exhale. Come back to center, take your hands to the backs of your knees. Notice if they're starting to fold in, lengthen. So feel like your femur bones could get longer, your thigh bones could grow. Press your hands into your knees and your knees into your hands. Let your knees win. Push your feet into the floor and squeeze your heels towards each other. All right, last one we're gonna do like this. Take your hands and either place your fingers behind your ears or wrap your hands around your skull. Either way, you could also stay in cactus or field gold arms. Ready? Take a full breath in. And as you exhale, dip your left elbow towards the floor, lift your right elbow up, lengthen the right side of your body, push into your feet, drag your heels towards each other. Inhale, come up. Exhale, come over to the right. Slide your left elbow back a little, bring your right elbow down, push into your left foot. Inhale, come up. Exhale, come over to the left. Right elbow slides back, left elbow gets heavy, lift up and over. Inhale, come up. Exhale, over to the right. Woo, man. Tone your abdomen. Feel your hands behind your knees. Picture that happening. Draw your knees back into your imaginary hands. Come back up and release. Heel toe your feet so that they're hip width distance apart. All right. So we're going to work on a few twists here, and I'd like to talk about twists for a moment. Twists can be a little bit scary, especially if we just kind of willy-nilly start to twist and move our spine in a way that it is not used to and comfortable with. So I like to think of twists as happening up here in the upper range of our rib cage. I like to think that we are using control and not twisting from our lower back. So if you can just put that up in your mind, I think it helps. It helps us remember that we're using control. So just a few little twists here to get used to it. Take your right hand to your left thigh. And just give yourself a little slap on the side of your left thigh. And then take your left arm out, turn your left thumb down, and just bring it back. So maybe to the back of your chair, depending on what your chair looks like, you might be able to just slide your left arm around the back. Now look towards the left side of the room. And that's all I want you to do in this twist. I want you to feel that slight movement, like your spine is here and you're moving like an axis around the spine. Draw your left shoulder blade in towards your spine. Feel your right rib cage moving away from your spine, and just gently use your right hand to press into your left thigh. Why do we have the left arm behind us? Because it gives us that action of a turn. Take a full breath in. Exhale, tone from the front of your body. Now stay here and just turn your head forward. Release any tension in your neck and come back to center. And even just feel the turn. Make sure it feels safe. We'll try the other side. Left hand to the outside of your right thigh. Bring your right arm out. Turn your thumb down so that you can reach your right arm back behind you. So I'm draping it over the back of the chair. If there's something you can hold on to back there, ooh, I can almost reach the seat. You might be able to reach the seat of your chair. Use your left hand to press into your thigh gently. Lift up through the crown of your head and bring your right shoulder blade in towards your spine, but feel your left rib cage wrapping around your body. Breathe where your hand was on your abdomen before. Inhale. Exhale. You might even take your gaze slightly over your right shoulder. Keep your body where it is, keep your hands where they are, and just turn your head forward so that you're looking forward, releasing any tension up in your cervical spine, and then slowly release, feeling everything come back around, sit up nice and tall. Let's say more awareness than anything of what's going on and how do you feel deeper than your skin. All right, I'm just going to turn my chair. Y'all can stay there. Sometimes turning gives you a better idea of what's going on in my body. Come up, sit a little bit more towards the front of your chair and widen your feet. So widen your feet wider than your chair. Keep your toes forward, feet in line with your knees. And we're just going to work on that same extension and flexion of our spine and just think about what we're doing. So instead of twisting, we're going to move forward and back. So first, take your hands onto your knees, lift your chest, lift up through the crown of your head, move your shoulder blades in and up. Take a breath in. And then as you exhale, begin to tuck your chin, draw your rib cage like you're trying to press into the back of your chair, and then come back up, inhale. And then exhale, roll your chin towards your chest and begin to feel that same rolling sensation all the way down to maybe your tailbone tucking. And then push your bottom into the chair so that you lift back up, lift your chest, lift your gaze. And then exhale, roll back again, chin to chest, rib cage moving towards the back, slight tilt of your pelvis. Last one, inhale, lift, and exhale. And come sit up nice and tall. I could do that like 10 times a day and feel great. Just a little bit of an extension and flexion of your spine rather than just letting it sit in one position or even the other. All right, so how about just a little bit of shoulder work? I know personally some people that watch my classes that have had some shoulder surgery. So just be careful. I know you listen to your doctor and PT, so go at your pace. But bring your right arm and swing it in front of you. So I always think of a door. Close your door, your right arm. Take the back of your left hand and press it to the back of your right hand. So back of your hands together. Don't swivel, so we're not in a twist. We're going to stay forward in our body, and just let your left hand gently draw your right hand or arm towards you. Bend your left elbow a little bit. And you might even feel a slight sensation of the skin around your shoulder stretching, moving, not looking for a big tug or pull. Let's just call it a sensation today. Now keep your left elbow underneath and give yourself a hug. So wrap your hands around your shoulders, lift your elbows up, lift up through the crown of your head. Give yourself a hug. We need it today. Heck, we need it every day. Now, if it feels safe for you, try if you can to bring your arms close to each other. Maybe your elbows touch, mine don't. Maybe you can bring the palms together and bring your elbows towards each other. Lift your elbows up a little bit higher. You could think of an arrow. Your middle fingers are the point of the arrow. Keep lifting, bringing your elbows closer together. Oh, that's a big one. Now bring your arms out in front. Bring your left wrist over your right wrist. Turn your palms down towards the floor, and then turn your palms so you can make a fist. Left wrist on top of the right, turning your palms towards each other to make a fist. It's okay if you don't want to do that. You can just bring the palms together. Lift your arms towards the sky. It's a big stretch. For those of you, shoulder injuries, maybe stay a little bit lower. Try to lift your arms up towards the sky, push your feet into the floor, tone your rib cage, lift your chest slightly, lift your gaze. Ooh, it's a hard one. Keep reaching up through your fist. Bend your elbows, release your arms down by your sides, and relax your hands to your legs. Okay, let's do that on the other side. Left arm reaches over, the back of your right hand to the back of your left hand. Bend your right elbow. Don't swivel, don't twist, stay forward, and just gently press your hand into your other hand. I will feel this right in here where I get tight in my pecs, pectorials. So that's where I'm feeling it. You might feel it a little more around the shoulder head. And remember that breathing we talked about in the beginning? Take a full breath in. A long exhale through your nose, lips closed, teeth separated. Keep your right elbow underneath. Give yourself a hug. This may be the side that feels more comfortable than the other side. Lift your elbows up and out, almost like you're stretching the skin with your fingertips, drawing the skin away from your back. Bring your arms out in front. This time, right wrist over the left. Turn your palms down towards the floor. Turn your palms towards each other. Make a fist. Could bend your elbows a little bit. So when you bend your elbows, you can bring your arms up. If you want to do that, keep your elbows bent and bring your arm bones back. Maybe start to straighten. One side's going to feel tighter than the other, most likely. This is my tighter side for whatever reason. Push into your feet. Wrap your rib cage in, tone your abdomen, lift your chest. Reach up through your fists. Bend your elbows and release your arms. Woo. Big circles with your shoulders. Let your arms go along for the ride, but make the circles in the shoulders. So you're not moving your arms as much as you are moving in your shoulder heads. So you should feel like you're even drawing your collarbones wide. And you might hear a few pops and cracks along the way. Reverse directions. Whatever direction you were going, move in the opposite direction. Oh, yeah. I always think of a football player that has their pads on. I've never had them on, but I'm assuming that's what it would feel like for you to feel like you're moving the big pads off of your body. Just moving everything and making room. You ever see the football players? They're adjusting, moving. That's how I feel. All right, do your hip crawls. So you get to the back of your chair and you can lean back. So we're just going to work the muscles in our face today. I think it's fun. It seems a little odd, but we have 40 something muscles in our face, like 42, 44, something like that. And so we work them. We typically sometimes keep the same expression all day, and our muscles kind of stop in that way. So as silly as it sounds, just give me a big cheeky smile. Ear to ear. Smile as big as you can. And here's the crazy thing. Our brain doesn't know that we're faking it. So when we do this, our brain says, oh, we're happy. It can be as fake as you want it to be. Show me your teeth and widen. Relax the rest of your body. It just makes me want to laugh when I do it. All right, soften the features of your face. It's hard to when you do it too. You can't really soften. You're still in your smile. And then frown. So frown as much as you can. Burrow your eyebrows. Try to swallow your eyebrows. What would it take to get your eyebrows down to your mouth? So furrow. Really, really like you just smelled the most awful thing in the world. Eyebrows, nose, everything down. And then relax. Neutral. We'll call it a neutral face. And then the last one we'll do, it'll be 3 times in a row. Y'all have done this with me before that have taken my class, lion's breath. We'll take a big inhale through our nose, and when we exhale, we'll stick our tongue out towards our chin and we'll look up, and we'll make a really loud, very loud sound all the way from the back of your throat. No one can hear you. I've got it muted. You're at your house. Well, someone in your house might hear you and come out, but it'll be fun. Take a full breath in. Stick your tongue out to your chin, look up. Full breath in. Get your tongue to your chin and your eyes as high up as you can go. Inhale. Relax the muscles of your face. Sit back. Relax your feet and your hands on your lap. And close your eyes back to the beginning. And when you close your eyes this time, did you notice that maybe during practice, the sounds that you were hearing in the house kind of dissipated, became vibrational? Maybe you were more in tune with your body and the instruction. I think that's the most important part of moving in yoga and using our body in the asana, the practice, is to just notice, to spend a little time with ourselves, seeing how we feel. Soften the muscles around your eyes and your mouth, since we just worked them pretty hard. Feel your cheeks sliding towards your ears, almost like a slight grin underneath. Feel the chair beneath your sit bones and know that it will hold you. Could you soften a little bit more, trusting? Feel the soft earth beneath your feet and know that the earth are holding your feet rather than your feet holding the earth. And let your legs hold your hands, softening through your shoulders and elbows. Take a mindful breath in and a long breath out. Maybe separate your lips slightly and allow the breath to float in and out. Begin to deepen your breath. What would it feel like to take the exhale down to your toes? As if the pads of your toes warm and vibrate. Inhale. Take your breath to the pads of your fingers. And then begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Slowly nod no, very, very slowly. Slow motion no. Maybe begin to open your eyes. And then maybe a slight, minimal yes. So slightly nod yes. Very slow. Feeling maybe even length in the back of your neck as you tuck your chin slightly and then lift up through the crown of your head. Bring your shoulders to your ears. Roll them back and bring them down gently. And then lift your palms up to your chest. Take a full breath in. Let it out. We'll chant Om together. Inhale. Om. Om. Shanti. 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 Peace. 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 Thank you so much for joining me today. Have a great day.